Danger is coming. Our Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's romance with France is no good news for Nigeria. Wherever France is not good. Mr. President, you're not talking to Nigerians. The reason France is cozying to Nigeria and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is allowing them to, and we will resist, is because they are looking for a place to situate their military base after being kicked out. We in the north, which is a place they are looking to locate these bases, we in the north will vigorously resist any foreign military boots on our soil.
Hello and what's up guys? In this video we'll dive into the brewing storm in Nigeria as tension grips President Tinubu's administration. Northern Nigeria has drawn a clear line in the sand, vowing to resist any foreign military bases on their soil, whether from France, the United States, or anyone else. What's behind this defiance? Let's unpack the details. So here is what is happening. Northern elites are sounding the alarm, claiming that foreign bases often justified as security measures, bringing more instability than peace. Citing examples from Niger, Mali, and Chad, they point to worsening security in regions with foreign boots on the ground. Their message: not here, not ever. But why is this becoming a hot button issue now? France, after being ousted from several West African countries, is reportedly eyeing new opportunities in Nigeria. Recent talks suggest President Tinubu's administration might be open to welcoming France's military presence, allegedly tied to broader agreement in trade, mining, and energy. Critics argue this is more than just geopolitics. It is a fight for Nigeria's sovereignty. With France's controversial history in Africa, many in the north believe their presence could lead to exploitation of mineral resources and rekindle colonial-style dependence. One source described this potential base as a Trojan horse for chaos. So, what is at stake for Nigeria's economy and regional stability? Is this a bold move to strengthen ties or a risky gamble with national security? And why are northern leaders so united in their resistance? Stay tuned as we delve into the geopolitical implications and what this means for Nigeria's future.
To be honest, I'm terribly nervous, and every Nigerian should be. Okay, let's look at our relationship with France, past, present, and the future. So when France has been in all these Francophone African countries, West Africa, for 66 years, and they've been kicked out. They've been kicked out of recently Chad, Senegal, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, five of your neighbors kicked the colonial master, and all of a sudden you are hugging that person. There is something you guys know that we don't know. But let's look at the history of France in Africa or anywhere else in the world. It's not been good. Look at all these countries. You need to ask yourself, why was France kicked out of those places? You are literally sucking their resources. And there is no development in any of these countries. Any. You go to Chad, you go to Mali, you go to Burkina Faso, you go to Niger, there is nothing to see, but they've been sucking their uranium and gold. All of a sudden, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in this love fest with Macron and France. We're asking ourselves why. What do we have in common with France? Literally nothing. You look at our history with France. France has been one of the major countries that was supposed to unite Nigeria. France opposed the creation of ECOWAS. France opposed the creation and sabotaged the creation of a single ECOWAS currency, the ECO. And France literally sabotaged ECOWAS by this young military hunters leaving ECOWAS. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. ECOWAS is now just a shell. You remember after the coup in Niger? Nigeria, the president had just started, he had not even assembled his team. Or he said, we're going to attack France, we're going to attack Niger. And I'm sure prodded by France. We in the North resisted vehemently. We're not going to allow Nigeria to invade Niger because the fight was going to be a proxy war. America, the United States of America, had one of the biggest drone bases in Agadas in Niger. Yeah, this thing was, they're going to fight Islamists and all that. No, insecurity has been much worse where you have foreign bases by this foreign countries. The reason France is cozying to Nigeria and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is allowing them to, and we will resist, is because they are looking for a place to situate their military base after being kicked out. We in the North, which is a place they are looking to locate these bases, we in the North will vigorously resist any foreign military boot on our soil. So, Mr. President, you need to know we do not have any historical ties, defense or economic or linguistic with France. And all this causing the French are doing, the reception they gave Mr. President was fit for a king. He will not get that if he goes to England or the United States or anywhere in the world. What is France getting for that? France wants three things. One, it wants right to concessions to exploit our minerals, which are predominantly in the north, which is what they've been doing in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Number two, they want concessions in oil and gas. That's why they said, I heard the spokesman of the president saying, Total is going to invest 750 million in gas. And I asked myself, is this true or is this fiction? Because this same Total, 16 months ago in July, exited Nigeria and sold all its stake at 860 million to a Mauritius-based company and left. Their reasons were sabotage, theft, oil spillage, and high cost of lawsuits. So what has changed in 16 months that they're coming back again? After selling 860 million and left town, they're coming to invest 750 million. We were told it's not going to happen. So they're looking for three things. They are looking to come and exploit our mineral resources predominantly in the north. They are looking to explore oil and gas, which they ran away from, and they are coming. And number three, most importantly, most worrying, and everybody in Nigeria, I beg you to lend me your ears. We will resist vehemently any attempt by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government to allow any foreign military base on our soil, particularly in the north, because it's going to be a harbinger of trouble. All these lacura things you're hearing, it is the French that started all of this things. They started all of this thing. Wherever France was in West Africa, there's no peace. Why would President Bola Ahmed Tinubu bring them back without consulting anybody? So, military base, France or America or any country will be resisted vigorously by all of us because this is a country we love and we're not going to allow recolonization of this Nigeria like they've done in the other countries. In Hausa, there is a saying, in kaga gemu dan uwanka ya kama wuta, ka sa naka ruwa. If you see the beard of your neighbor catches fire, put water, dampen water on yours. Well, France has put fire all over the Sahel. And we are inviting them into our household? No, we are not going to do that. Business, do that. And it has to go through due process. And I'm calling on our sleepy, do-nothing 10th Assembly to wake up to its responsibility. They are the ones we elected. They are the ones who should checkmate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in all the opaque things he's been doing. He disappears into France for working holiday, and nobody knows what he's going to do there. Like he's being called for consultation. This is a democracy, not a military rule. And we need to know what our government and our president is taking us into. But foreign military base is a no-no. and exploiting our mineral resources behind our back is not going to happen. It's going to be transparent, there's going to be open bid, and all of us stakeholders must be involved in this.
Well, in the first place, it's a misplaced priority at the part of the President and Commander-in-Chief. When smaller French colonized countries like Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Mali have evicted their membership and ties with France into their colonial masters, how come an Anglophone, English colonized country like Nigeria is now giving France that power to come and site military base in the north? It has ulterior motives. Don't forget the fact that France historically assisted in wanting Nigeria to split during the Biafran Civil War, because their mercenaries were found to be fighting alongside the Biafran soldiers, as well as even their government support from Paris to split Nigeria. And now President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is allowing France to come and site military base. I don't think it's patriotic. Then Northerners as a whole should not accept that. There are other parts of Nigeria that France can go and site military base. Why they not? Is it their agenda that will come and end armed banditry or insurgency in Borno? There are better countries like America, UK, when they were to site AFRICOM command of the United States Army. A lot of people rebel that shouldn't be done. So when we refuse that of America, we should also refuse that of France. So I think we should not, the entire 19 northern state governors should not accept that for France to come and site military base. It has devastating consequences.
The Americans have been in Niger since 2002. This agreement, which was abrogated recently, was signed in 2012. But the government of Niger did not see any progress, despite the presence of American bases in Niger. Fatalities have gone up since they were there. Terrorism has not receded in Niger. It is on the increase, not only in Niger, in Burkina Faso, in Mali. It's been on the increase. If it is in the interest of Niger, they wouldn't ask them to leave. In fact, they don't even share the intelligence they gather with the Nigerian government. They serve American strategic interest. That is what is happening. What happened in Niger. And that is, if it has been good for Niger, they wouldn't ask them to leave. It is not a decision I think they took lightly. And because the bases were there in Niger, or are there in Niger, they want to dictate Nigerian foreign policy. America as Secretary of State and the commander of AFRICOM went to Niger and told them that they had no right to actually engage in their foreign relations, especially with countries like Russia and Iran. This is an independent country, for goodness sake. Will you, with us in Nigeria, accept a situation when somebody comes here to tell us that we cannot have any relationship with a country? It has happened before, if you have forgotten. Before Nigeria recognized Angola, Kissinger came to Nigeria to tell Murtala Mohammed that we have no right to recognize Angola. Murtala asked him to bugger off. Nigeria went ahead to recognize Angola, to support Angolan independence. So Nigeria has always been in the forefront of defending not only the interests of Nigeria, but the interests of Africa. Unfortunately, in the past few years, our leaders, have become lackeys of foreign powers. That is the issue. And if the leadership is weak, they do not address internal concerns, such as poverty, education, industrialization, they will be weak. And foreign powers can dictate to them. That is what is happening to us. Things have gone so bad in this country. It didn't start today. It didn't start today. We shouldn't be follow. The zombification of Nigerian foreign policy should end. That is what we want to achieve. Zombies are not soldiers only, but we can also have zombies who are in critical positions in government.
A lot of people who are watching us tonight will perhaps be wondering, why is the fear of the sighting of a military base in Nigeria? Just to give a clue onto what America defines as a military base. America categorizes its bases into large or small bases. Now, what it means is that when America sites its military base in any region or any territory, it means that they will have boots on the ground for their large bases They will have military installations in a space larger than 4 hectares. That's about 10 acres of land, are worth more than 10 million US dollars. And these bases typically have in excess of 200 US military personnel, boots on the ground, and 400, almost 450 of all the US foreign bases are large bases. The smaller bases, which are sometimes called the lily pads, have smaller than 4 hectares. That's about less than 10 acres of land, and have less than 10 million US dollar worth of military installations of resources. They also will include cooperation of security locations and operation of that site. And they have about 40% of their foreign bases are lily pads, smaller bases. That means that America will have its drones, its military operations, its boots on the ground in those bases. That is a typical. So you have a small American territory in that region. And we have almost 200,000 of such in about 80 countries. And America has almost 400,000 boots on the ground across the globe in their military bases. So for a clearer understanding of what America defines as military bases, perhaps that's a clue. But Prof, give us an understanding. Why is it dangerous for America to cite a military base? Because in your letter, you cited and you said that it is dangerous for our defense and internal security.
Absolutely, because we know within Nigeria itself, there has been a very high level of terrorism and violence ongoing in the Northeast, in the Northwest, in the North Central, and other parts of the country. We do know we've had a very difficult relationship in the last few months between us and some of our northern neighbors, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso in particular. The third thing we know is that these 3 countries, when they sent the Westerners packing, have set up new deals with Russia. And Russian advisors and trainers are coming into their country. Now, when we leave our traditional foreign policy position, which since 1962 has been non-alignment, Nigeria since 1962 has always argued we are neither in the West nor in the East. We will pursue our national interest and we will relate with all the parties. That has been Nigeria's position. But from the moment you accept a foreign military base, you are no longer non-aligned. You are directly in one camp. So we are setting ourselves up for a battle with 1,600 kilometer border with Niger and Russian soldiers in Niger. Why are we bringing the Americans to fight a war that's not our war, but their own war? But I think there is a much larger issue of concern for some of us, which is that Nigerians are very proud of their sovereignty. We've always looked down at the Francophones, at countries who are controlled by their old colonial masters, and we've been proud of our own history. Well, we never allowed the United Kingdom to do that to us. Is it now, after 60 years of independence, that we'll now lose some of our sovereignty to a foreign power that's bringing nothing in return? Let me emphasize some of the recent knowledge we have acquired over this matter. When Niger asked the Americans to leave, they released the secret agreement between the United States and Niger. And in that agreement, it is stated in black and white, none of the foreign military boots coming to the ground would report to the Nigerian government, will be known to the Nigerian government. They will be taken straight from the airport to the base. All the equipment that are brought in cannot be inspected by the Nigerian government. No Nigerian government or military official is allowed to visit any of these bases to find out what they are doing. Therefore, they are giving these hundreds of soldiers they are bringing in and the base they are carving out total diplomatic status and protection from our laws. So we've seen in recent times in Japan, it's been an ongoing issue. An American soldier from the base goes out in a town, kills a woman, commits crimes, and the Japanese government has no right to prosecute. It has happened even recently in the United Kingdom when a woman from one of the bases hit and killed a cyclist. The British wanted to take the matter to court. The Americans said, "You've signed a deal with us. Your law does not apply to our personnel. We can do whatever we want and get away with it because we have this agreement." That is the type of agreement the United States have signed with all these countries with which where it has military bases. We as Nigerians are simply too proud and too sure of our own dignity.
But what about
to accept
about the kind of handshake and the kind of support and help that Nigeria has always run to America to get? Former governments in this country have asked them for military hardware. And if we have done that, and they are asking for a sighting of the military base, although the government has denied that they are not having that kind of conversation, do you still think that it is right for Nigeria to think that, yeah, this is the time that we need to now say we are proud people when we have always sought their help?
No. The relationship we've had with them is what's considered a normal relationship. A few years ago, Nigeria requested the purchase of Super Tucano planes from the United States. You remember President Obama refused. When Trump came, he approved the deal. They asked us to pay 3 years in advance, which we did. And after 3 years, they delivered the planes. And those planes have been very useful in terms of the war against terrorism that we have been fighting. So we are not saying don't have any military relationship or cooperation with them. We can have. The position of Nigeria is that because we are non-aligned, we can negotiate and have deals with any country in the world.